Hello students, this is Abhijit Shah from SNCS. Today we will continue our study. So first topic is types of maps. On the basis of scale, there are two types of maps. That one is large scale maps and the another is small scale maps. Okay. So what is large scale maps? That large scale maps shows a small area in greater details. So large scale map means that means all kinds of things are shows as a greater details. This is one kind of large scale map, that means cadastral map, and in this map you can see that all kinds of information are expressed as a details, that you can see that the plots of houses or the vegetations, rivers, all these things. Okay, so large scale map we can divide as a two parts. That first one is the cadastral maps and the second is topographical maps. Okay, so what is cadastral maps? That these are also known as plan and are drawn on a large scale, and they give full details of properties and buildings. So they give us the full information regarding the place, and they are useful for local administration, city surveys, guide maps, and city plans. So these kinds of maps are very useful for us for various kind of administrative work or city survey, and for as a guide maps, this cadastre is also helpful for us. Next is topographical maps. So this is a picture of topographical map. That these maps are prepared after a careful and accurate survey of an area. So these kinds of maps are done by hand. That means these are handmade maps, and they are usually drawn on a large scale, and these show both natural features like hills and valleys and man-made features like buildings, roads, settlements, and canals. So they give us all kinds of information, that they give us the physical features, they shows the characteristics of the physical phenomena, and they also give us the man-made informations. And these are useful for military purposes. These are very useful for military purposes. In our country, Survey of India has prepared numerous topographical map. So this kinds of topographical map is done by one group. The name is Survey of India, SOY. They prepare these kinds of maps. These maps are drawn to a scale of 1 is to 25,000 and 1 is to 50,000. So we already learned that for making a map we need to select a specific scale. So for making this topographical map, they select the ratios or representative fraction scale, that it may be 1 is to 25,000 or it may be 1 is to 50,000. Next, come to the small scale maps. What is small scale maps? That these maps show a large area in less details and space. Example, that wall maps, atlas map. These are large small scale maps because all kinds of informations are expressed as a small way. That's what these are small scale maps. Like the wall maps, that these are small scale maps and they show large areas of earth at a glance. So they give us all kinds of things, but as a smaller way, and they select that they shows us the larger area. They depict various features like relief, vegetation, population, and communication, etc. So from these kinds of maps we can collect the features, and we can select the features of relief, vegetation, population, communication, etc. So these maps are for display purposes in office and classroom, and these kinds of maps are basically used for offices and classrooms. Next is atlas map. A collection of maps is called an atlas. So atlas means actually one kind of book where all kinds of maps are gathered. So they are called as atlas, gathering of maps. So these maps are drawn on smaller scale as compared to the world maps, and they are very convenient to carry in a book form, and such map are therefore considered suitable for educational purposes. So these kinds of atlas map is very suitable for our educational purposes, and we can found any kind of information from these atlas maps. So on the basis of content, maps may be classified as follows. So on the basis of content we can divide the maps also. That first one is the political maps. What is political maps? That political maps show the countries of the world, and they also show international borders, state capitals, cities and towns, and they are drawn on small scale. So political maps means that they are actually shows us the political boundaries, that and they give us the information regarding the states. So this is one kind of political map of India, that we can easily find out that the state's boundary, which is the state's area, that this is the area of Rajasthan, this is the area of West Bengal. So by this way we can select the area of a state. So this is political map. Next is physical maps. So these maps show the physical features of the region of the earth, like mountains, rivers, plateau, coastal areas and water bodies. So physical map means that from those kinds of maps we actually collect the physical features, that the mountains, that rivers and the plateaus, coastal areas or water bodies we can depict it from from these kinds of maps. That the next one is that these are also drawn in small scale. So this is small scale maps. And the next is thematic maps. Thematic maps is what? That thematic maps represent particular features like vegetation of an area, distribution of minerals, industries, etc. So vegetation, or that the in these kinds of thematic map we actually select one theme, that it may be that the rivers. So if the map is the river maps, that means that we only shows the rivers of a place. So thematic means that here one theme is selected for the distribution or for the representation. So that if the map is, that theme is that iron and steel industries, then